Hello and welcome to the Smarketing Show. Look, I have a saying that says the more we work from home, sometimes the more homeless we look. So to solve that challenge, if you face it like some of us, we've brought in an awesome image consultant, Susan Jacobs, today. And Susan's been doing this for, I think, well over a month. Is that right, Susan?
I would hope so. Yeah, a few years.
Look, we got almost 20 years experience here. And, you know, my mother, when I was growing up, Susan said, look, don't worry so much what you wear, just put on a smile, which I think is a big part of whatever we do. But we wanted to get your insights and your coaching. I know you've worked with, professional business people, TV personalities. I think you even told Cheryl how to fix her hair when she was on TV. But thanks for joining us. Now, someone may right now be wondering, okay, what exactly is an image consultant? Maybe you could let us know.
You know what? That's a good question. And I define it on my website because people don't know. So image refers to everything to do with your appearance. So as an image professional, when I'm working with someone, I'm working with that person as a whole. So their nonverbal communication, their behavior, and as well their visual presentation. So it's all of those things together. So when one of those isn't in sync, everything else kind of falls all over the place.
Susan, I'm so excited to have you on the show today. I love your energy. And Susan, we worked together, I think like 16 years ago
I think
at
so.
the TV station. And my boss, will never forget, told me that he hired an image consultant to come in and help with my hair, which is unruly and out of control. And also we need to step you up, Cheryl, in your wardrobe department. So I'm very thankful to have had the opportunity to work with you. And I still follow a lot of, the tips and tricks that you taught me working in TV 20 years ago. So I want to talk now a little bit about some of the mistakes that you're seeing people make when it comes to their appearance. And maybe those are different for women than they are for men, but what are you seeing as like the top three for both?
I feel, and even when I started, because I was a teacher, I moved from that profession into this. And whether it's men or women, it always surprised me how they forget about part of the business plan is your personal brand and how you show up and behave. And people don't save funds for that. They have the website, they take the courses, and then there I am as a third party to help them look the part. And it could be anyone making, from 100 grand a year to lots of money where they didn't get the part that you need to look the part. Because some people don't they think it's a game. It's like, I don't want to play that game, but it isn't the game. It's the part of the industry, and you need to be aware of that and then adjust it so that it's authentic for yourself. Another thing is I think that not having a plan. What do you need to promote your message? So think about your audience and your own personal image goals. Do you want to be creative? Do you want to be perceived as a real go-getter? So clothes are a tool. They are our armor and they have a role to play. So if you have a plan and you know what you need, you can be strategic about it and it doesn't have to break the bank. And I think that's what people say, oh my gosh, I need this. No. Stop, reflect, figure out what you need so that you have what you need. Those are kind of the things I feel that need to be front of mind. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking directly to me. I mean, I have trouble parting with old clothes like I'm parting with my children, just so you know. So I'm guilty in there too sometimes, just so you know, in case you can't tell.
It is common, and I get it, because clothes have memories. They trigger things, but we need to here's a good one. In order to move forward, some things need to be left behind. Keep in mind in life, right? Everything.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
So Susan, it's interesting. I always, I sort of always use the slogan, or used to, fake it until you make it. And I've always kind of had the mentality where you dress for the role that you want, not the role that you're in. There's obviously basics that I think everybody needs to have in their wardrobe. But given our situation today and the fact that we're in this pandemic and we're, recording this Smarketing Show virtually, which we have been doing, for months now,
right?
What are three things that you can recommend for business professionals in order for them to step up their game, fake it or make it, to present themselves in a more professional manner on virtual video recordings and meetings?
You know, I have attended so many master classes and different learning situations because I was not online ready at all. Good lesson. And I've learned from doing it incorrectly. I think the most important thing people need to do is realize if you are on a virtual platform for business, then it is business. And we need to not think that because it's easier to just go into your office or sit your laptop down somewhere, that's easy. But we still need to, again, consider your audience. And I heard a good quote, I don't know where. If it is important enough to have a meeting, it is important enough. And I feel like initially everybody thought, oh, some holidays, oh, cool. And they just kind of slouched on to the Zoom. Then it became a reality. And I did see an upswing in how people were getting ready. I had a lot of clients, business online saying, what do I wear from the waist up? But now I feel like people are, it's that burnout. Like, are you kidding me? Here we are again. And we're kind of slipping down. Here's what I think. I always feel that if you have an opportunity to lead and to be a role model, take it. This is an opportunity, I think it's a gift where you can shine. Even if you're not the person hosting the meeting, make an effort, stand out in that way, because that is memorable. And I love the fact that I see people really trying to invest in, what do I do? How do I do it? For men, it's very different than ladies, of course. But there are a lot of things that you shouldn't do. So if you want to hear about a couple of those, I could say that.
Yeah, you can.
Yes. What should we not do?
Yes.
Well, and I don't see it a lot anymore, but getting online with clothes that you would literally then go outside in your garden. No, that's not okay. But I also feel that I consider this like an in-person meeting. To me, it isn't any different. I dress up. Some people say, do you have shoes on? And I'll put my leg up and I'll say, yes, I have shoes on, because you feel more ready. You feel productive. You feel like you're in your game, in your role. And you know what I've noticed? When you do that, if you are the host, you will find the people that you're hosting they will also make an effort to dress more, to make an effort to show up. And I just think we need to show up. It is about branding. How do you want people to perceive you? That's it. And we always are on when we're on.
Susan, I have a selfish question, and Cheryl's used to those. But I do a lot of videos on social media, LinkedIn primarily.
Okay.
Sometimes I ask myself, look, I've got the suits that were bought at a great store in London that we know, and shirts and the cufflinks and all that kind of stuff. And I find myself on social media sometimes posting video where I'm more in casual attire. And I've asked myself, like, should I not be showing myself in that so-called authentic state? Because I'm concerned it might confuse my audience with, Rick on a stage with 3-piece suit, tie, all that stuff. And I find since the pandemic hit, I've lowered my standards. And I'm just wondering if you think that's damaging me or others that may find they're doing the same thing in the car, et cetera, type of thing.
I totally get it. And I think some of us who overdress can feel, really out in left field because you need to be relatable. But I do think that there's a distinction between your authentic self, showing up as your authentic self, business-wise, and just showing up and dressing to please yourself. So it's in the mindset. And I remember the last time I was at Fanshawe, some of the very young kids, it was more of an attitude. I don't need to do that. And I said, no, you don't have to do that. However, you do need to show respect for your audience and let them know that you made an effort. And Rick, I will say to you that I am not dressing like I would on a stage either. For one, the top from the waist up, we can look the same. For men, it's different because you would have your jacket on. I think we need to be careful of, wear flattering colors, wear an interesting shirt that you can wear. You don't need to wear a tie, but if you do, you can make it playful, a knitted tie. Just have fun, be yourself, but make that effort. And I do want to say this, sloppy clothes that are not structured, which, as Cheryl knows, they're very on trend. They don't show up well on camera because we're sitting. So wear things that are more fitted, and it does look more streamlined. It immediately looks more polished. So if you can even start there, that's, that is something. Does that help?
Yeah, I'm just, since the pandemic, I'm not having a problem finding, tight fitting clothing. So that won't be a problem. Thank you for that tip too. They say that.
Okay, you know what?
Just a sec. Tight fitting, well fitted.
Okay.
Right?
Well,
Yeah.
They did a poll in Canada. I'm not sure if you heard, but they surveyed, I don't know how many thousand Canadians, and they said, hey, have you gained weight since the pandemic? And 30% admitted, yes, we have gained weight.
Yeah.
And then they did a second poll, and they found out that 7 out of 10 Canadians are liars. So I don't know if that plays to today's topic. Sorry, Cheryl. Yes.
So it's true. And it's funny because on video, like I am, loving the trend of the oversized shirt and, the skinny jeans or the tighter pants, but it doesn't look good on video on Zoom because you can't stand up.
Yeah.
Like you're not always standing up. So people can't see to do this weekend is to go through and purge in my closet. And it's something that I try to do like every season. So I want to ask you, and I didn't really prepare you for this question, but recommendations on what to get rid of. But also, that being said, what are some trends when it comes to fashion so that I know what I need to like turn around and replenish in my closet once I get rid of some stuff?
Ooh, this is a good one, Cheryl. And I do a newsletter every other week, and it's Friday. I just finished mine for this coming week. And it talks exactly about that, because when you are working through your wardrobe and transitioning, moving the heavy winter stuff out, whatever, it's a good time to take note. What do I need to replace? Do I need to replace it? And that question is answered on your current lifestyle. And actually, what do you feel like wearing? Because 2 years ago, all of us were different. Our goal, everything was different. And I think we need to be mindful of that. Do you really need to replace it, or can you just let it go? Anything that's tired and faded and stretched and dull isn't going to help you feel good on air. And you know that, Cheryl, from your TV days. So I feel like crisp pieces. Of course, as a fashion person, I am aware of the trends. I never recommend my clients invest in trendy clothing because I'm all about getting that return on your investment. So say you love navy blue, and this is a big trend this season, the color for men too. Buy the navy blue pieces when it's on trend, because in a year, those things won't be there. So that's one thing that trending helps with. And if you are looking to replace your luxury higher end products, think about it. Am I going to get the wear in my current life, in my current lifestyle? Do I really need it, or do I just want it? Because I really am. I'm not somebody that just splurges for no reason. I want people to be mindful of that so that we are more sustainable and intentional. Okay, so trends, lots of color. Color is great. We need to feel hopeful. Color is wonderful. And on that note, make sure you're wearing the right colors for you. And if you don't know what those are, I know someone who can help. For men, we're seeing, and Rick, this is something, instead of the suit, the sports jacket, sweater jackets. They're still tailored. They have the blazer styling with a 1 or 2 buttons and the notched collar, but they are, knit. So they will work in your casual wardrobe weekend wardrobe, and they look great online, even with a dressy t-shirt. And for ladies and men, I always want to add graphic t-shirts to your wardrobe. A graphic t-shirt that is not political or not religious, but a cool print. Because if you've got a lot of corporate clothes, you can dress them down with a graphic fun t-shirt. Put it under your sports jacket, put it under your denim if you have a denim sports jacket. And it's that fun, inviting, I'm one of you, but you know what? I know that I'm the expert, so I'm stepping up. I hope that helps.
So you mean
That was awesome.
you mean the sweatshirt? I showed up in the preamble before we recorded, and I asked you how I look, and you candidly said not good enough. Stay away from that stuff, obviously.
I'm not sure I said that, but you know, there's a place for that.
I like to have fun, Susan. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. But,
I know.
I see a lot of people, you mentioned the t-shirts with the graphics, and I think you got a great point there, because I'm seeing more of that. And I think, as a layman, I don't know what direction to go, candidly. I mean, you mentioned the navy blues, this sweater,
Sweater jacket.
Yeah. Is there, how do you feel about, like, should men be having jackets on in meetings? Like Cheryl's got a jacket on. I'm just curious, do you think the jacket on, Cheryl's doing a lot of work right now with MBAs on personal branding. And I think what you talk about is absolutely a slice of the pie. So when on camera, like maybe just a simple question, would you suggest jacket on or jacket off for a business person?
You're primarily working from LinkedIn. I think that's a different audience. And I do think that the expectation is more traditional. That doesn't mean that you can't wear, and I'm just going to suggest a blue because it would look great on you. Think of a denim fabric, but it's a sports jacket. That is wonderful because that is also a color of trust and integrity and tradition. It's flattering on you. And if you had a sports shirt, a linen shirt, that is, to me, that's polished. It looks like you care about yourself, but it also looks like you've made an effort for me as someone to whom you're speaking. So I think a third layer, which is a jacket or a cardigan for women and men of some sort, is that added polish if that's your audience. And I'm not dumbing down tech, don't get me wrong, but if you are speaking to a group of techies, traditionally that's not as businessy casual. So you can wear your graphic t-shirt, you could wear a cardigan. You and I, Cheryl, we don't need to have a structured jacket. But again, that third piece adds the layer. So bottom, top, third piece. So that's kind of the rule of thumb. If there are rules anymore, I mean, we'd like to just stick to something so we know where to start, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Susan, my last question for you is with regards to something that I saw on your website that I thought was awesome. Okay. So you've got this really, really helpful content offer, and it says, 10 ways to update your look for under $100, which I think is key. So there's 10 things on there, and I encourage you to look at the website, which we'll give you the URL for in a second. But what are just a few of those things that people can take away today in today's show?
Okay, so for everyone, if you have a watch, wear a watch. If you have an old one from your grandpa or your dad, get it refurbished and wear a watch. It is a sign of respect and tradition in business. A lot of people say, I don't need a watch, I have my cell phone. Well, your cell phone shouldn't really be visible and you're not checking it. So the watch sends that message. So that's a very inexpensive, can be way to update your wardrobe. For ladies, simply get a new lip shade. I mean, that looks refreshing. Change your hair, change your frames, men and women as well. And lastly, I talked about it already, but I do think that buying not mainstay pieces, but inexpensive. So if you wanted a new funky tie, if people know you, Rick, as a tie guy, buy a cute little bow tie. Oh my gosh, you can have fun with it. And it's you're playful and you're kind of a fun guy. You're not just a brilliant guy. People want to get to know you. So those type of very easy updates are there. And I think we overthink it. Just think, and jewelry for women, switch out your necklaces, that kind of thing. I hope that helps.
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, it's the little things that I think people miss. And I'm a hat guy. I don't show it on here because no need to wear a hat indoors.
Oh.
But I love hats. And it's funny when I do, to your point, when I do post with my hats on, it's all the comments. Like, forget about whatever I was talking about.
Yeah, but, right.
They make a mockery, of course, the people that follow me. But anyway, it's funny. It's the little things that matter.
That is a good, okay. So, but if you were doing something where you wanted to get attention immediately to how you're showing up, that would be your good lead in. And you could just start it out. Okay, let's just get this over with. The hat, boom, boom. I love hats. They're dramatic. And you should do that. It's fun. And that, if that's you, then you know what? That's you.
Yeah, well, there's no grass on the road anymore, so I got to do something up top there. But anyway, I really appreciate you being on and sharing, because I think it's a dark hole for a lot of business professionals, and they go to their spouse for coaching, or they, their teammates maybe don't give them the best direction. At least that's in my case many times. But I just really appreciate you stepping in, and your website's awesome. I know Cheryl's going to give the URL, but I would highly suggest people follow you, because as this personal branding becomes more and more of a juggernaut within business, like I'm 54, I know you're a lot younger than me, Susan, but when I started in business, we sold the company and the product, and now more and more the individual, the personal branding is becoming so relevant. And I think what you have as a skill is really important for any business person. So thank you again for joining us today.
Oh, my pleasure. I loved it. Reconnecting with Cheryl.
It's so fun. Thank you so much, Susan. Again, the website is personalstyleconsulting.com, which we're actually going to put in the description of the show down below. So I encourage you to check that out. And Susan, we have to have you come back like every season and do like, what's on trend? What can I buy? I have so many questions, not enough time. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody for tuning in. We'll see you next week on the Smarketing Show.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.